was the whole mobile first thing, so we could at least clear some air on it. I know Bill wanted to go there a bit. All right, so I guess around February 18th, they said they were beginning to roll things out. And then there was a post on March 26th that was basically it's all official. So I'm gonna get all the screen sharing going here. So the funny part is I again, like, I went back and started looking at their posts from 2016 and so forth and so on, and I wasn't sure, is this something we're supposed to be worried about? Is this something we're supposed to care about? Turns out I really don't think so. Now, so essentially, to recap, our crawling, indexing, and ranking systems have typically used the desktop version of a page's content, which may cause issues for mobile searchers when that version is vastly different from the mobile version. Mobile first indexing means that we'll use the mobile version of the page for indexing and ranking to better help our primary mobile users find what they're looking for. So, I guess that could sound a little scary and a little weird, but then when you dig in deeper, here's kind of what's changing. So if you have a site that's desktop only, you have no worries. Nothing changes.
You're not getting much traffic either.
Well, no, but also, Terry, if you have a responsive web design, no change. If you have a canonical AMP website, no change. So really, all this really is affecting is separate URLs. Like, remember when people used to have the M dot, like, for mobile? Remember, you used to, remember that whole thing maybe 10 years ago? So if you still on that sort of archaic thing, okay, then Google will prefer the mobile URL for indexing to use our best practices, blah, blah, blah. Dynamic serving. So if you're using dynamic, same thing. It's going to prefer the mobile optimized content. And same with AMP and non-AMP. Google will take the mobile version of the non-AMP URL for indexing. So, yeah, best practices. Your mobile site should be the same content as your desktop site. Your structured data should be present on both versions. Metadata should be present on both versions. Verify both in Search Console. Check your href language tags. Blah, 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 blah. So, the end of the day, really, and obviously a lot of our people are going to be on, responsive designs. This doesn't really make a difference. Again, if you really have just got a responsive design, so that's the exact same content, nothing's going to change. Because I saw some people going, oh, they're rolling it out, so look for ranking changes and watch your analytics. And there was a bit of that, sky is falling kind of attitude going around with some people in various circles.
Dave, I'd insert one thing there, one little codicil, though. There's an awful lot of responsive sites out there that aren't properly responsive. So just the fact that your theme says you're responsive don't mean, okay, I don't have to worry about AMP anymore, because if it's not right, you're going to have a problem.
No, for sure. And again, but that's something you should have been doing anyways.
Absolutely. But I bet there's 70% of the sites out there that are responsive aren't.
Yeah. I agree. Because it does
by responsive, right? Like, there's responsive where when a mobile client makes a call, all it does is make the same picture smaller in dimension in the code.
Okay, there could be some edge cases, though, Terry. Like, I was in a meeting yesterday, and the client was talking about a certain layout of a page, right? And Tanya was going, well, the reason it's looking like that is because when it goes responsive, it's the way it has to be. Now, we could do a hack to change that so that the desktop is slightly different, but then this is where that kind of thing could come into an issue. If you're making hacks to a site that's going to somewhat break the responsive or to adapt to the responsive, then I think that's something you got to be careful about.
You don't actually have to hack it. If you're using Bootstrap, you can actually write content that only displays for the device that it's written for.
Yeah, in this case, it was like the positioning of some buttons and some images and stuff. You know what I mean? It was just the positioning.
No, I can actually change the look of the website by doing this.
Yeah, and again, if that's the desktop version, I don't think it's an issue as long as, like what Doc is saying, as long as you're looking at your.
it's an issue for conversion because because traffic from mobile phones is increasing at a fairly rate that you should be paying attention to. I now build for mobile users, not the desktop, because the desktop's going to look after itself. I'm really working on my responsive design, i.e., actually making a mobile site.
There's been people for a long time, Terry, that have been building mobile first and then modifying the display for desktop. And I never did that. I went the other direction, but I can see at this point where that could be an advantage.
Well, I don't actually design for the mobile. What I do is I make my desktop version and then I say, okay, what do I need to do for my mobile people? And then I go in and add the new code. It usually means I have 3 images instead of 1. I have 1 for smartphones and tablets, 1 for medium desktop and tablets, right? So it's going by the dimensions, right? 7 something. I don't know the exact numbers, but you know where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
And the sites are zippity doo dah on the mobile. Like, I mean, they load like frickin' crazy.
Yep.
And I found since I made those changes, I hate to say it, but I'm thinking it might be responsible for more traffic because I'm now getting more mobile traffic.